All right, all you devils, happy Friday. Oh, happy holidays. All right, well, so I got a few things teed up for us. Of course, we're going to look at Bitcoin, and I've got, let's see, I think it's 4 alts that look interesting. And, fit with our approach to technical analysis and how we approach the market. Before we get started here, I just, I don't do a lot of heavy promotion here, but this when we have these kind of promotions here, I certainly want to draw your attention to them. So this is our holiday Christmas special. Oh, it's similar to the Black Friday special that we did. So pretty much, we're cutting these, and it's almost 50% off on 40%. It's pretty good discounts here. So you can do the entire belt system. You can do, the entire belt system, individual belts. The Pro membership, which gets you full access within the Discord, you can do that on a monthly basis here now at $49, or you can do the full year. So if this is a approach to the market that appeals to you, this would be a good way to dig in there and take advantage of some of those savings. So there you go. There's my promotion for the day. All right, let's get over. I guess we'll do the bull count first, and then we'll look at the bear count. I do have an interesting bear count. Well, this is kind of simplified here, so we can look at this. The premise, we've been over this a number of times. So premise being we went 112 here. I'm going to hide the bear side. Let's hide that here so we don't get distracted by that. Right, we'll get there in a second. Obviously I'm off camera for this video here. It's not that I mind being on camera at all. We're at the peak of cedar season, whatever the hell's going on. So my allergies are just long-term subs and members know this is something that plagues me. It's so bad right now. I have to mute the mic all the time, and it's allergy management here. So I'm going to stay off the camera here until I get through the worst of this. So anyway, that aside, okay. So I've got that. So if we look here now, so 1, 2. Right. So the idea being here, I've got an impulse, and then I've got a sideways correction through an ABC or WXY, however you want to count it. Doesn't really matter. At this point, now coming off of this low, we get a clear impulse. So so note here, I'm in arithmetic here. Now, 15 to 70, certainly there's a case to look at it in both, right? How about I say it that way? You want to look at it in both when you have that kind of range. But let's start arithmetic. So the first question is, okay, well, if this is the third, is it longer than the first? Right, and of course, that's not a requirement. It gives us some guidance. Of course, just a reminder, 3 doesn't have to be the longest, just can't be the shortest. So here we know now 3 longer than 1. Now, are we done here? Well, okay, there's a case to be made for this to be in here. Now, that would be somewhat surprising for Bitcoin to put in a 3 here coming off of this low at the 1271382. It's not like we don't see it. It's just, I would be surprised if we started to roll over here. Now, the alternate here is that if indeed we're done here, and let's see, I'm on an 8 hour here. What am I on? Bitstamp. If we're going to start to retrace, and this is we're coming up for a double, or we're going to come down for a ABC, excuse me, I should say it that way. And we're going to retrace and then launch again. Well, of course, and this is as we've laid it out. This would be my primary count, that this is not going to be the 3. This is going to be the 1 of the 3, and the 3 with much greater potential up here. Now, that's making a pretty bullish assumption. So while I can think and believe that that's going to come, is that hopium? Is that bull porn? Well, it's perhaps, right? So we have to be objective and look at things that, okay, well, why can't this be the third, right? So you always want to be critical of your work and look at it and say, well, what's wrong with that? Why not the third here? Well, it's again, there's no obligation that the market come up to the 1618, 175 or 2618. There's no obligation, of course, right? Market's going to do what it's going to do. We are seasonally strong time for Bitcoin. A lot of the backdrop here is positive as risk assets are getting perhaps repriced, or you say it that way, right? It's looking at what's happening in the stock markets with the high risk, the Mag 7, and the ones that are really driving the market. The market believes that the Fed is either at the top, and if not starting a rate hike cycle, that it's likely not to be increasing anymore. So of course, the market being forward looking, there's a lot of bullish enthusiasm going into 2024. I'm not so bullish about 2024, right? Maybe parts of it. We'll see what the first quarter looks like. Second and third, I think, are going to be, well, difficult. I'll say it that way. So as we sit here, if this is gonna be the three or the one of the three, well, if it's the one of the three, boy, are we in for a rip-roaring bull market. Now, if it's the three, you might look at this and say, well, are we done there? Well, the structure and the internal count gives you a very nice looking completed impulse there. But as we, let's dig in there a little bit. As we look at this price action, it's starting to resemble this kind of price. Right? When we're looking for, where's my little square here? Right? When we're looking for a 4, right? Characteristic of a 4 is we stall and we consolidate before we're either going higher or we're going to roll over. So you might look at that and say, well, wait a minute, how could this be a 4? Well, that would imply that either we're going to have to recount this, right? That this is not right. We have to rethink it. Although it's already been relabeled a few times. Yeah, let me just hide that for the time being. So we can just look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's pretty, again, right? Just using, what does the market typically do? Right, well, here's your high probability zone, right? We get through that. Here's the first peak. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go up to the 5, you can see here getting a 1, 2, 7, 1, 1, 2, 7, 1, 3, 8, 2. Not uncommon for a third, right? It's the second most common. This, it almost doesn't matter, right? WXY or something, right? So, but we come out of there, right? And you look 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is a little liquidity down here, a little liquidity grab. Perhaps, right? So you look here, could this be the 4? And we've got more to go, right? There's more to go here. Let's change that. Let's put it in, here, we'll put it in white. 1, 2, 3. Maybe, right? It's just too soon to tell. So if we take that off, look at this. You might, no reason not to use our indicator tools here. Well, this certainly, right, that you're looking for the peaks here to define your 3s. Well, that looks like that's the 3 of the 3 of this count. And then this in turn being the 3 of the 3 of the 5th. So if this is going to start to push higher and go further, now we're going to relabel this as likely, right? A, B, oh fuck. So you might have to do a WXY, right? Because it looks like that's 3 into this, right? Again, it almost doesn't matter, right? We're going sideways. We are in a box. We are not progressing the trend, right? So either we break this box and we retrace, we put it, the top is likely in, or we soldier on here and we keep going, and there's a 5th up here, looking for a 5th up here, and now we're getting closer to the, or right in the pocket to the 1618 that we were measuring off of the 1-2. I should note here, I mean, this is pretty remarkable. That's the anchored VWAP. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Right now we're a long way from anchored VWAP. But now this, so if the third's going to be up here, as we look at these, I'm just wicked off the highs. These will be targets for liquidity, right? So now if we come here, all of a sudden, it starts to look a little bit better. So we might even put a hot box up here, as I like to call them. All right, so we've got a target, so we don't need to keep that on here. Okay, so I know, right, that's my right in line with, we don't have to even wonder about it, right? There'll be an order block here. There'll be some supply here, for this is the pivot before we, so this will be an area of interest, let's just say it that way. And plus now we'd be at the 1618, so that might tee up for the next correction. That's what I'd be looking for, right? I'd be shocked if we don't do that, but market shocks me all the time. All right, so if we're going to go up here and do that, we'd have a pretty good handle on, okay, well, that's a pretty good extension into the 5th. Well, what would we be doing then, right? That would be the 3rd. Let's get that out of there. All right, so now we have our 3rd in relative to this 1-2. Now, it's hard not to notice how that's tagged the edge of it. Don't ignore the median lines. If you just always look for them, you can thank me later, right? So this is a corner pocket, right? 80% is realized here, right? And trading principle number 3, if we're not going to pivot on the median line, we're going to wrap around it before we decide we're going lower parallel or upper parallel. Well, there's upper parallel with double tagged twice to the tick. Right, so what's next, right? Is the 4 in? We're going up, right? It's too soon to tell, right? Now, if we're doing something like this, why not make it perfect, right? Something like this down for the 4. Okay, well, now you're going, well, wait a minute, right? How would that look? Again, I don't have this. Let's get our wave 4 on this. Whoa, where are you? Wave 4. Oh, lo and behold, look at that, right? So we might come right into the 38 at the median line, right into this prior consolidation, right? Now, do I know, right, that that's going to happen, play out that perfectly? No, but why would you lay out a roadmap that was abnormal? Why not? Well, here's the highest probability location for the third, right? Why don't we put that as our target? Here's the high probability location for the 4, right in line with the geometry. Why would you not? Why would you not? At least if we're laying out a roadmap, again, let's lay out the most common pivot points that we might look for. And then you can see it kind of lines up, right? Now, we got to get through this, right? This is likely, it's often called a smart money trap, right? So that because there are higher pivots above. So this could be bait, right, for breakout traders. Remains to be seen. Now, okay, in addition to that, right, we know this. Now, again, remember, I'm in arithmetic. So pulling from the all-time high to our low. All right, well, let's get the golden zone up. We're through the 50. I'm right, that tick to tick. Okay, right, we wrestled with it. This is where we seem to be putting in a 4 at the 50, and you can see all the high volume here. Now we're getting outside. This is from swing high to swing low. We're getting outside of the of the value area as per that swing. Now we still have some high volume nodes here, obviously, right? You don't even need to draw that. You know where they're going to be. Okay, well now look what's just happened here. All right, we start to see some things come together. All right, so here's our high probability zone. So do you see what here now in arithmetic? The 1618 from the length of this is right on top of the 1618 from the pull high to low. So, right, could this come down here? 618, 618. Bitcoin loves the 618 and the 1618. So that's why I look at this and say, as far as I'm concerned, this is high probability. We get up here and do that, right? So now you got to rethink that, because my premise has been, oh, we're going to roll over a little sooner. Well, if we come up, we get to high probability, you wouldn't necessarily want to just in turn assume, oh, okay, well, no, that's not the 3, that's the 1 of the 3. Right, it's going to get up. Now it may be. But that's going to be a little bit tougher to wrap your head around. Oh, 1 of the 3, and it just went to the most probable location for the third off of the 1, 2. All right, well, okay, Uber bulls, slow down, right? So because if we complete up here in the 5, up in this range, that could be that's actually more bullish, because that's not going to be the top. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. In my opinion, that's not going to be the top. So what will we have just done here, right? That will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, okay, right now you start to think of that and you say, well, wait a minute, if that's the 1 and we're going to come down for 50%, well, let's just do that math, right? Or draw it, how am I going to say it that way? If this were going to be our 5, well, now are we coming back down to the 30, 40 range? No reason we couldn't. Now, of course, I don't have this, right? I'm just kind of laying out like could be, maybe. Are we going to get all the way up here and blow through the 2618? Maybe we get to this last little supply zone here before we start to come down. Well, here's the 50. Now, remember, I'm in arithmetic, right? So this is just swing low to swing high, right? So you got to look at this both ways, right? If, and again, it's hard to project that. But what could we use? Well, typically there's a relationship between 1 and 5. Now, again, I don't have the 4. Maybe here, right? So we'd pull it down here. Now we coming down this far. Well, we'd be right back into this consolidation zone right here, low 30s, or pardon me, upper 30s, 38 to 40-ish. Can't rule it out. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at here. If this is the next, right? So one leg at a time, one wave at a time. Let's get something to complete this impulse to complete up here. All right, so there's the bull count and some high class problems, right? Is it 3, 4 or 4, 5? Are we in yet? I mean, again, these are high class problems for bulls because this count is so very bullish. And if we complete here, I will be calling that a 1 wave, right? So the 3 now there's some bull porn. Okay, so let's go over to, just because we can look at this and think, oh, right, we can keep this simple. Oh shit! All right, well, let's just call this a 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not the prettiest 5 ever, but it's not terrible, right? It's not like, oh God, you had to bend the rules so terribly to get it. It's a little, the 5 relative to the 1, right? I mean, there's some problems with it, but we can't ignore it. So if this is an A and we just did a 3 into a B, well, here, let's go look at it here. Now this is from one of my senseis, right? And a longtime member, right? Been with us for years, and he really took what we taught him on the Elliott and the Fib side, and then he became kind of a specialist in GAN trading. So he's still a regular on our Twitter feed, and we follow him. We share information. This is James M., who's my ultimate puzzle solver, and he loves to dig into this kind of stuff. So this is kind of an interesting bear count, right? We can't ignore this. So this is he and the GAN man going back and forth because they're still in touch, and look what they've done here. So it's a couple of interesting parallels, all teed up to give us the idea being that, here, let's get something big, right? So we've got this A, B, and C is coming, right? So you can kind of lay it out as they've seen it. But look at these swing relationships here. Now these are the kind of things that you don't want to just disregard them as like, oh, fuck, that's just chart magic. Well, slow down. So take note here, right? This is our wave 1 high, right? So the proposed wave 1 high. So from this high to the proposed high here, right? That's 522 bars. All right, you get the distance here, and I think the key being number of bars. Okay, well, if we go from low to the proposed low out here, right, for the ABC right into the golden zone, 522 bars. If we're going to go from the bottom to the top here, 262 bars. Oh, has he got another one? Yeah, he does. Let me get in there. Per this. Oh, this is. Oh, so this would be 522 out here. There's just a lot of overlap here, and then you add into that the channel. Look at the channeling here. Perfect, right? So this to this to this. Those are tick to tick. Now put the median lines on, right? Median line, and the proposed target for the median line. Well, there's the golden zone. So again, as I just drew it, this is a candidate for an A. If we've topped here, B. Right, coming down for the C would put your buy in the 10K range. What do we got there? 10K, and then we're off to the moon. Right, interesting how that all lines up. And then this would be potentially a target out here at 522 bars from top to top. Right, so that would be from this top to this top if we get the median line. If. All right, so there's a lot of speculation, but these are interesting pivots to play with. Right, so. Members, if you, I think James M has got this posted. If you want to get this just for a reference, right? I keep his work right on these kind of things, so I have it to refer back to, or is why I'm looking at it today. All of this, starts to suggest some of these pivot points out here, and it's just taking those swing relationships and looking for repeats. So interesting, right? So this has us out here at 127, and that would be end of 26. It's still pretty bullish, right? But I don't think. In fact, James M and I had a chat about this. Neither one of us think this is what's coming. But you can't just because we don't believe it's coming, right? The TA certainly supports a look at it, right? So you want to have a worst case scenario prepared. It's hard to argue with it. 5-3. We get 5 down. Well, of course, you're going to be looking at the. Oh shit, let's use this one. You're going to be looking at this when we start here and we get here. Right? What are you thinking? Oh, well, if it's 1, 2, 3, if we complete it up here, now we go again. If we come down here, right, now what are you thinking? Oh, deeper retracement, we go. Well, okay, that's when, right, we're going to find out, right? Do we get a 5 coming down? Not going to know until we either blow through this. Right now, the geometry, right, really shows this as self-contained through the channeling, right? I got pivot, pivot, pivot. If we start to blow through that and head up towards the high, this starts to come apart. But right now, still perfectly valid, right? Since we sit right here. So if I were to do it, let me know if I can do it to repeat it. Like this, right? A, B, coming down for the C.
Now, note here, right? So we'd have the B here of this channeling hitting right as we've none of this up here is in yet. We'd be hitting, as we hit the edge of this median line, we'd be hitting the down channel from here at the 138, 1272, which would be common for a C. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're done, and we're going to start to roll over, hard to argue with that one. Okay, well that's a pretty good look at Bitcoin. I think again, well, you can get into our Discord here. I'm sure that James has got that posted, so members have probably seen it. But if you're considering joining, and maybe free, and want to come into the Discord, I think you'd have to be in a pro membership to get that. The what is currently now at $49 a month. But something to, these guys love this kind of stuff. They're great puzzle masters. All right, great. Okay, so all right, that's it for Bitcoin. I think we got that covered. Let's get over here to, I've got 4 alts here teed up. Now, I've mentioned these guys a couple of times. Many of you may very well be familiar with them. They're pretty established now. They've got good marketing. And that is, I'm going to bring them over here. This is ALTFins, right? So I've been using them for a while. I like them a lot, right? And they've just gotten better and better and better. You can trade now through APIs. And this is really, really well done service. The way I use it here, because there's so much data in here, whether it's TA, chart patterns, screeners, the on-chain data, I mean, it's really, really well done for all just crypto. It's he's got a couple of reasonable different levels that you can get into with this. I ultimately went in and got a piece of the action because I think this is going to be, I think they're going to be around, and I like what they're doing. So anyway, but that aside, so what I do when I come over here, I just go to the technical analysis, and I'm looking for things that are in a bullish trend, that are in a pullback. So you're going to see what we're going to look at here today is I got right where I got them. Now, before you go over there, I'm so bad at this. If you would like to support the channel, the link where we get a little kicker on it is in our link tree, which is below this video, right? So, I don't like to shill much, right? But if you wanted to do that, if you're a regular viewer and not a subscriber, not a member, and you wanted to kick us a little, thanks, that'd be a nice way to do it. We don't make a ton from it, but, every little one helps. So bullish in uptrend pullback. So what are we going to look at today? So we're going to look at Cardano. What else have I got? I don't think I have ICP. That was one I didn't like it enough. We're going to look at Link, and we're going to look at Sand, and I've got one other in there. I think Cardano. Hey, well, we'll look at it in a second. Okay, so let's get over here. So let's do them. Let's do Chainlink first. I think this is a tricky one. So when I first brought this up and started looking at this, I started working through this count. I was seeing finishing here. Now, that's not ideal because, right, so as an Elliottician, or if you're applying Elliott Wave here, well, we can see a pretty good start to this, right? So, and we've looked at Link before, so we have the, let me get it over here so you can see this a little bit more, right? So we get this long consolidation. I'm on Mexi here. So you get this long consolidation here. This is just textbook Wyckoff. Here's the spring, up we go, we're across the river, into the woods, off to grandmother's house, right? So we get a nice 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, clearly the 4, up to the 5. So there's a very clean impulse that finishes here. Well, we get 3 down, and then, it's a little abrupt. So if you were thinking about the length of time, which is a part of the Elliott Wave in terms of the right look, well, let's see if I can find it. Where are they? Is it here? Here we go. So if we just take the length of the second wave and we project from the top of the proposed third, well, we're going to put the 4 here. It's not even 618, the length of the 2. Here's 100%. So I got a little uncomfortable with it in terms of, God, can we make this work? And so I started to dig a little bit deeper. Here, let me get rid of this. Which is, I think, how most technicians would approach this going. And it's very much consistent with what I've tried to teach you guys, is to look at it and go, what's wrong? Why not this? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? Right? If we look at it here, if it's complete, it's just a little bit like the long-term Bitcoin count, right? Let me see if I can get this up here, like this here, right? This looked like, are we done here, or was this a 3? Right? For a long, let's get into log scale, right? It looked like, 3?
oh, it looked like, for the longest time, I thought it was going to be A, B, C, D, E, and we're going to have a triangle, right? And then carry on, right? And then FTX, right? And did all of that. But it's this 3 here, right? It was too short. It seemed too short relative to, well, here's COVID, right? The length of the 2. It didn't seem to fit, right? But lo and behold, right? Once we've got all this coming, we're kind of stuck with it. All right, so let's come back to this and go, oh, it's the same kind of thing here. It's like, oh, shit, are we stuck with that? Is that, I mean, again, market doesn't have to give us the right look. It's just when we see the right look, we can be a little more comfortable putting money at risk. So let me get that out of here. So what I do, which is the same thing I would encourage all of you guys to do, right? Which is the value I say of the membership in here, is that I have a brain trust of some of the very best technicians, Elliott Wave technicians. I have 2 master Elliotticians on my team, and then others who are upper level that just happen to be great traders. But in terms of education, to get to master level through EWI is no small feat. I've got 2 of them. So I go to the one who's available. One's more available during the day than the other just because he's in France, right? So I can usually get him. The other one's that's Tony T. He's in the States, but he's got a full-time job during the day. So I can usually get to PK, who's also a master technician and a master at Elliott Wave. And I run it by him, right? And that's the kind of, my point being, if you're a new student of ours, or if you're a long-term student or a new student, right? The idea that you can take account like this and say, "Gosh, I'm kind of looking at this, it doesn't quite look right to me." Anybody got an alternate or see, or I often will say, why not? Or what's wrong with this count, right? So first is identifying it's the time imbalance. Okay, well, once we've identified that, we kind of want to, and again, using the channeling, we want that forward to take a little bit more time to come over here. So now we look at this and go, well, oh, okay, well, what are we doing that? Because it kind of tees you up into thinking, okay, all of this consolidation seems rather 4-like. So if the 5 is yet to come, how are we going to deal with that? Well, there was a count in here. Oh, let's see if I can bring them up here again, just for the educational value. At least I hope it's educational value. Let me bring this back. All right, so this was my first look at it before I went to the brain trust. So I'm looking at this going, well, how can I get this done here, right? How can I get this done is the 5. 1, 2, here's the 3. Now it gets a little tricky in here. A, B, C, D, E, right? So the 4 would have to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this kind of fucks it, right? So because you get this wick that goes through. So there's a little bit of like, oh, okay, well, it's just wick. Maybe we let that slide, some sort of stop run. Or he's like, well, you can see what happened there, right? It's not hard to figure out. All right, so we can see the liquidity was grabbed here, right? It's just common as the day is long, right? So liquidity grab, right? So the stop, where the stop's going to be, right? This move happens where the stop's going to be, right here. Now they're not there anymore because they were all taken there. So we go, now we're up. Orange bars, these are just inside bars, just FYI. It's like a compromise. It doesn't look right. I got to fudge a little on that last 5 for the 5th. What's the alternate, right? So off I go to the brain trust and I get PK on the line, and we start going back and forth. And let me show you what he gives me. Right, it's a better fit, right? Again, that's why I go to these guys. I'm never here to tell you that I am the Elliott Wave master of all masters. I'm a trader first, right? I use Elliott Wave. These guys, they're almost academics, right? They're great traders, but they're such good Elliotticians, right? So I take advantage of them just like any member would. So I shouldn't say it that way. I take advantage of their knowledge, right? So to help me make better trading decisions. Okay, so let's get rid of group 1. Wait a second. Group 1, let's get you off there. Okay, well, we kind of want the 4 to be over here. Well, how do we get there? Well, out of this degree, you can look at it. It's a little easier to get to, right? But if you don't force yourself to work through the subdivision, right? And what that sub count is going to look like. Well, okay, well, 5, right? Okay, well, 4, all right, that's easy enough. Well, challenge yourself, see if you can do it. It's a little bit of a struggle, but once PK, showed me what he had, got a little easier. So let me get this off of here. Bring up the alternate. So those are off. Let's go to group number 2. All right, so it gets a little
A little trickier here, right? But this is what a master Elliottian will bring to it. Okay, so if this is the 3, right? We want the 4 to be over here. So the ABC, how do we get there? Right? We're applying rules and guidelines. Well, it's not easy, right? This is not easy Elliott work, right? So this is from, again, someone who's very skilled, right? So ABC into an A, ABC into a W, ABC. You know there's a triangle in here somewhere. It's just making it fit. A, B, C, D, E into the X, A, B, C. Right now I've got a Y into my B. So I've got an A, a B, right? Now, keep in mind, right? This is what it appears right now. If we launch out of here, oh, where's an arrow? All right. If we come out of here with a big rip, might have to rethink this. Although there's a way we could get it done here. Look at that in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I got a 1. If this is an A and this is a B, I'm looking for 5 down, right, to get me to a C. So thus, something along these lines, if we're going to do it like this, you'd almost be looking for a contracting. We wouldn't have to be a diag, right? But something contracting here with 3. One was the longest, 2, 3, 4, 5, something along those lines to get you down here, because we don't want to go too deep. Actually, if it's a 4, right? You really don't want a 4 going beyond the 50, and then we have this consolidation out here down a degree to the 3, 4 common location for that retrace. But what are we retracing? If we're done here, we're expecting a 50 as a 2. If it's 3 and we're looking for the 4, we'd like it to stay between 38 and 23, right? Again, for ideal scenario. Okay, well now I've got a candidate here for either an A or a 1. Right? It depends what we're going to get here. Recognizing that if we start to take off here, we got to reconsider this, and perhaps it's A, B, and the C is in here. Not quite as good, but it's doable, right? This 5, I think, it's very skinny up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. We'll wait and see, right? So here you got a little demand zone, or excuse me, a supply zone up here, very obvious, right, with equal highs up here. So if we're coming into that, and then as I had it drawn earlier, if we pull from here to here, all right, coming up to the 50, I would not be surprised at all. We come back and tap that supply, and then we roll over. Well, where's the, and again, you're putting a map together. Well, where's the target, right? That's why that line is right there, right? So we get algo target 4, 5. See, right? That's, is it going to do that, right? Well, it could, but that would be ideal. Now we're buying right here in this pocket. If you can buy chain link down here in below 12 or even below 13, it's a gift, right? In my view, right? Because I'm bullish on this long term, right? And the count suggests to be bullish, right? 1, 2, no question. We've got a 3. ABC. All right, so 2 scenarios to consider. I do prefer this because the time is better, right? So now if we come back to what we were doing before. Oh, shit, where are you? Oh, God, it always takes me a minute to find this one. Okay, so now we do it this way. 2 to the proposed 3. Look where at least here we get to 100% the length of the 2 in time. Now, it might be 3, 4, 5. We're going to go beyond 100%, but at least we're well past the 618 and closer to what we might anticipate would be 100 to 1618. So anywhere in that range is going to start to look good. We don't have to be making the turn at 100% the length of the 2, but this is too soon, I thought, or even here, too soon. So there you go. That's how you solve that when you've got a team of experts to tap into, right? That's why I encourage you guys, post often, right? The way to get the most benefit from your membership with us is use it, post often. It's so easy to jump into a Discord, especially if you can join ours for free, right? All of a sudden you're in 27 Discords, right? And you're not participating in any of them. If you find one that you like, focus. Doesn't have to be ours, right? I'm just based on experience, right? It's easy to get into too many Discords, especially if they're free to join or very inexpensive. But then you're not going to participate. Likely won't participate fully. If you're posting and asking questions and continually looking for feedback and accepting someone telling you, well, that's a rule break, you can't do it that way, or invalid, and not get butt hurt by it, right? Well, that's how you learn, right? We're not going to, no one's going to count shame you, right? We're trying to help you, not embarrass you, right? So post often, get the max value. Right, so that's chain link here. The simple way to do it here, I'd put an alert here at 13. If we start to come down here, I don't want to have to watch this all day every day, but I want to know if it's coming down here. I don't want to miss it. Okay, that's link. All right, let's go to let's go to Cardano here. We'll do them in order. To an 8. Right, so this has been a pretty good rip here. This is me just kind of wrestling with what we have here, because that's a 5 that can't be eliminated or ignored. Oh, let's see. Let's go to daily here. What am I on? Coinbase here. Oh, okay. Right. So we can look here. So 23. Do we need to be in log scale? Well, perhaps not. Let's go down. Here's our absolute low. So if we're coming from our, well, here it's what I got here, 22 high to the, I call this the FTX low. Okay, well, if I go into log scale, whoa. Lo and behold. I can't make this shit up. 618 rejected. Double top at the 65 rejected. Now, that doesn't mean we can't get through here. But look at the precision of the algos. Just amazing. All right, so do we need to be in log scale? All right, we're from 21 cents to 70 cents. Typically 4 times the range would be definitely looking. You're right on the edge there. 23, it's not quite 4 times, right? So I would be aware of it in both, but that's because what are we looking at here? You're looking at here going, why does it stop there? Why do we stop there? Why don't we keep going? That's why. Oh, let's come out of log. Arithmetic, right? So if we look arithmetic, we're, okay, I don't have to be in log scale here. That's the conundrum, right? Well, we're not even to the 50 yet. Right now, if you're a bull, a high-class problem, right? So what are we anticipating here? That this is a one wave. So let's go back to an 8 hour, right? If that's a one wave, well, this is good news for bulls. So it's tricky in here. This is tricky, no doubt about it. Let's get it up here. So, all right, this is what I was wrestling with. This 5 here, I think you gotta find a way to make it work. So I did it this way. Let's get my one wicked off here. So 1, 2, 3, A, B, C into a W. So it's A, B, C, W, X, A, B, C, Y, A. It's a little bit of a shuffle there. But you can see there's a triangle of some sort in here. So if it's W, X, Y, X, Z. There are times where I look at it and go, oh, fuck, right? Does it really matter? What do I see here? We're just going sideways. Consolidation. Now, not to be sloppy or a lazy technician, but with this coming after it, we can just look here and go, okay, some sort of a 4 happened here. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's an alternate count here. This maybe I did double check with my wizards, right? This is rare, but it's valid. Consolidation, right? And then we trend, we go sideways, we trend. All right, so let's come back here. If this is accurate and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got the extension in the 5th. Okay, well it's not like that doesn't happen. Now let me go a 4 to work on this. If we're done here, okay. Well, this gets I think you got to go a little bit lower here to see that. Gets a little tricky here. There's not a great looking 4 here, but you got to deal with this. Oh, you could do it a couple of different ways, but there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you got to do it here. That's not much of a 4. But to give you the 5th to come down here, is it great? No, it's not. Market's not going to be perfect, right? Don't expect Elliott to be perfect. It's not always perfect. At times it's perfect, but don't expect it to be. A, B, are we done? So we got a little wiki down here. Little wick comes through. I'll go get to the target. Are we done here? What do I got below? The RSI, well, this is a trader's dynamic index, right? We get outside of the Bollinger Bands, as we did here, right? You'll see that tends to be very close to or we get divergence, right? So here was the high here where we went outside of the Bollinger Bands. Here's the divergence at the next high. And then the Elliott Wave Oscillator, right? Which is just useful for, okay, where are the threes? Well, obviously there's your 3. 5, right? It's divergence, right? So here, 1, 2, well, shit, this one's a little trickier. Into this one, into the 5. So here's the 5 and the divergence. Oh, shit. Oh, I had you. There's your divergence there. You see it here as well. It's just relative volume. So the red is the volume spikes. It's not, I don't love it. I can definitely say that. It's, what do I want here? I want, so I thought I put it on there. Regression channel, I might do it here. Okay, it's not gorgeous. A, B, C into the B, so looking for that to come down to the C, right? So something along those lines, but you're kind of looking at it like this. Okay, right now I'm just going sideways. If we come down here, well, okay, let's do the same thing. If we're coming down, right, how far are we coming? Well, if this is the completed impulse off the 1, right? Same thing we would do every time. It doesn't matter. Asset is irrelevant. Okay, we would do it this way, right? Now Cardano coming down, Cardano coming down to 45. I think that would be a gift. Look at this, come golden zone. So okay, there's gonna need to be some reason, right, for alts to sell off that far. It's not a requirement that it come to the 50, but there's all of this displacement here, all of this are all fair value gaps here along the way. So if we were to come back and rebalance some of that, you could see that as a candidate here, and we might additionally look at it this way: length of the proposed A from the proposed B. Now I don't know that that's topped here. Right, so 100 would be here, 1271382, which is second most common for a C relative to the length of the A projected from the B. If it's not going to be the 100, 12738, and next most common, if we're coming 1618, then well, something is affecting the alts in a severe way, right? If we're going to come down here and do something like this and get all the way down here, something that doesn't just happen through trading volume. That's going to be some fundamental news or event or macro event's going to have to happen there. So one to have on your radar, I would certainly say that. It does not look like, certainly this looks like this is corrective here. Now, if we keep going higher, we'll be back here next week to rethink it, relabel it. Tricky one, right? But one certainly to have on your radar. Here's sand, right? Now, you'll recall, right, as I showed you, did I bring them over here, right? So the ones that we were looking at, where's sand? Sand, right? Bullish, pull back in an uptrend. That's why I'm looking over here. All right, so let's go over to sand. Okay, some just pretty, these kind of wicks are a little bit, what am I on Mexi here? So this is an exchange we're talking to. We may do some work with them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, things that don't happen randomly, right? Double doesn't overlap. This, you have to go A, B, C into a W, X, Y, because otherwise it looks like a 5. So to make that fly, you got to go A, B, C into a W, X, A, B, C, all right, to get that clean. All right, now here we come here. So this becomes the 1. Pretty damn close, but they don't get it. 1, 2. You got to do this. Is a little funky here. You kind of have to deal with that liquidation wick, and then up we go for the 3. So that actually gives it a better look, because if this is the 4, well, there's the same issue we were looking at earlier with the time relationships. Time. So let's do the same thing here. All right, length of the 2 projected from the pivot of the 3. Well, now we're at least a little closer here between the 618 and the 1. A little closer, so better looking 4. But if you were putting it right here, I mean, if you thought this, right, it doesn't quite work as well. So, or same thing here. If you thought this was the 2, right, then, oh, well, it can't be, right? If you were just going to ignore this wick and say, oh, it's liquidation. Yeah, doesn't quite work as well. All right, so candidate for the 4 here. 1, 2. Looks like there's more to go. Preliminary channeling. right? We don't have the 3 yet. We're still seeking the 3. So I can't put it on this 1, 2, right? Now this is encouraging. That suggests that we're in a 3 with the breakout of the channel, but I don't have the 3rd, right, to adjust the channel yet. So I just keep that on the 1, 2. But this one, the internal channel here, it's so wide and wacky. I used a regression channel here, which I think is a worthwhile, underutilized tool, right? So if you were trying to draw it, it's a little trickier. Where if you just use the regression channel, I'm just going to go from swing low. Oh, we can do it this way. Actually, let's do the whole thing. Let's do the whole thing this way. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're pushing out the outer boundary. So it's 2 standard deviations on either side. 1, 2. Well, if you're going to label that, this is what I would see. 1, 2. I don't know. That's 3. Yep. I would anticipate. It looks like it's 1, 2, 1, 2. It looks like it needs a little bit more to get that 3 in. What's a reasonable target, right? So it's right. Elliott Wave. It's fractal, right? So we would say, oh, where's the high probability location? Excuse me. For the 4, for the 5 to come out of here. I'm looking for a double, maybe. All right. You use those measuring tools. All right. That's the point of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweep the high. You can kind of just play that out. All right. See how that goes. Sweep that high. Perhaps that completes the 3. Oh shit. Let's go up a degree. Put you in blue, right? So perhaps we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, this would be up here. So many numbers, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I don't have this yet. 4, 5, 4, 5. Of the 5, right? So lots of upside here. So I'd be looking here. Okay, all right. I don't know. All right, this isn't quite ripe yet, but I'd be looking. All right, if we get a retrace here, you can trade that 4 to the 5. But keep in mind, if you were to trade that, and it played ball, right? Let's say we got one more pin. We come down here. We get a 4, and we go up for the 5. Be mindful that what you're looking for next is the 4, right, which may be below where you're going into. So you got to think about, well, okay, do I want to sit through all of that and then maybe I'll add to my position, or just swing trade this and reload here, right? Now, of course, we don't know this is coming, but if we just lay it out in a roadmap, which is one of the beautiful things about Elliott Wave, is that it gives you the benefit of being able to do that, and then you adjust as you go, right? If this rolls over here, well, oh shit, well maybe you're thinking this is a more complex correction. If we start to rip here, okay, right in line with what you're thinking is about to come. If we fall over aggressively, well, you got to reconsider the whole thing. But right now, path of least resistance seems to be higher. All right, how am I doing on time? Oh shit, 47. Oh shit. Okay, I'm almost done here. I try to keep these short. I'm not very good at it. Okay, here's VeChain. Again, over on Mexi. I just did this here. Oh, let's come over here. All right, they've had a lot of boom bust. Oh, on Mexi here, I probably don't have full history. It doesn't matter, right? So here we're coming down the FTX low. Now, this is, okay, pretty, I mean, like right out of a textbook, Elliott. 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? A, B, C, right? I know this Elliott Wave shit doesn't work anymore. Yeah, right. Well, there it is, right out of a textbook. Okay, so there it is. So if we're coming back here, well, wait a minute. Okay, well, that's the last pivot here. I want to pay attention to this pivot. All right, I got to do all of them because right, that's what the algo will do. So we got to pay attention to where Al is. Okay, so I'm in log scale here. So let's come out of log scale. Okay, long way to go. But I mean, look at the range here. Can't even see it. Range is pretty extreme, so this isn't obvious. Yeah, you got to look in log scale. Right, it opens it up better. A, B, C, 1, 2, at the 50. It's a pretty good extension in the 5th. Let's go to an 8 here. All right, we can see that 1, 2, 3. Looks like that's your A, B, C into the 4. Right? Are we done there? Well, that could be 4-ish. That could have another kick, right? Wouldn't be surprising at all, right? Let's see it come up to the golden zone. ABC. Oh, shit. Let's try a 2-hour. I don't have a great 1, 2. skinny in there at best case. Right, coming up for that, so kind of the same thing there. Use that channel. We can probably get that in. Something like that, right? Allow for that wick to come through and going up for that 5. Now we're getting pretty hot up here. Extreme, right? So this is potentially, right? And we don't have the divergence here. This is higher than the last peak, so it's possible that gets relabeled if this is going to keep going. But right now, I'd keep it here. We go back to a 4. All right, so this isn't quite the boom that you'd be looking for that 3. You're getting it here. Let's see if we go out in time, if it varies at all. Right, it looks like a good 4. Right? We don't get all the way to the 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to be watching. Right, so one thing. Just to be clear, I'm absolutely positively not suggesting you buy that, right? I don't ever, did I say ever? Ever buy breakouts, right? I've done it, so it's a hard rule for me. So if you're buying that, it's just FOMO. Right? FOMO kills, so I'll wait for the retrace, right? You get a break of structure, retrace. The Elliott suggests a retrace for 4 to complete the 5. There's just nothing other than FOMO that would warrant buying that. Now, but when I say that, I'm not saying this couldn't just launch. I'm saying as a trader, that's a poor decision. Okay, that's all I got now. Oh shit, I think 50 minutes. These are long. All right, so well, it's just a reminder here. If you like this kind of analysis, right, this is a great way to dig into it. Okay, guys, there you go. I'll be back next week. We'll do the live stream on Wednesdays. Those have been going well. Okay, guys, that's all I got for today. I wish you guys a happy holiday weekend, and we'll catch you next week.